This is the Intermission Podcast.
We want to get to know our homeboys and homegirls and invite you into our space.
It's a whole mood of positivity.
The Intermission Podcast. Welcome back to the Intermission Podcast, a break with your homegirls.
These are quarantine combos.
And that's right. You know what time it is. It's roll call. I am Jessica E. Williams, a.k.a. CEO J. Will.
And I'm Jessie Denise.
And I'm Ivana.
All right, y'all. So we started a new segment today. We thought about this. We playing around with it. Let us know if you like it, if you don't. So we're doing a highlight of the week and foolishness of the week. So this is our attempt to stay on top of what's going on in the world. And this week's highlight is the roast of Donald Jethro Trump. I mean, it's been wonderful to see the internet clap back at this man that we all know in a way that he deserves to be clapped back at. I mean, after 4 years, and God willing, there will only be 4, of all of this foolishness that he's been doing. And the most recent one was, I hope no one has been doing this. I've heard people have been hospitalized. Do not inject yourself with disinfectant. Do not drink bleach. There are actual poison labels on it. Don't be holding flashlights up to your skin or trying to get them in your bodies. Like, none of that works. It's not scientific. Ladies, it's a highlight and foolishness all at the same time. Thank you, Donald. What y'all got to say about that?
I just don't understand, because people are like, he was just joking. You are the leader of the free world.
The free world.
Joke like that. Like, first of all, I don't think he was joking.
He wasn't.
Was joking. You don't joke like that. People, it goes back to our wisdom, to our other podcasts. Like, if this is your leader and you believe him and you trust him, what you gonna do? You gonna go drink some bleach?
Sippy sip.
It's so ignorant.
I'm just like, and the fact that somebody said like he's joking, I want to look at them and be like, on that platform,
You don't joke like that.
what the heck? What the heck? If I had 1 million followers and I said go drink bleach, people would be suing me. I would be held accountable. Somebody would be taking me to court and making sure I pay for that.
Hello?
You know, with my life. He's
So,
like,
so that Lysol had to make a statement. Like, they literally had to put out a statement this week to tell people not to do it. And I was like,
It's just ridiculous. Like, so it's like, yo, y'all ain't gonna come.
don't put my name in this,
Don't put
please.
my name in this.
Clorox is like, I ain't with it. I ain't with it.
No.
Sales have gone up, but I ain't with it.
It ain't got nothing to do with us.
And poor Dr. Deborah, is it Deborah Burt? Deborah, I just feel so bad for her. She'd be sitting up on the wall and Donald be like, can we look into that? Can we check it? I'm like, sir, she is a real scientist. Like, she's a real medical person. She went to school. Like, don't play her like that. Like, come on, don't put her in this uncomfortable position.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't do that. So we hope and we pray that none of y'all drink bleach.
Please.
That
Right.
none of y'all try to spray Lysol on your tongue. I don't even know, like, what do you even do? Like,
What that feel like, though? If y'all did do it, tell me in the comment section what that felt like.
if you're alive?
If you're alive, yeah.
It's because you're probably not. Okay? You're probably not. But anyway, that's the highlight and the foolishness of this week. If you too were as appalled, infuriated, and disgusted by Lil Donnie's comments, please let us know in the comments. Let us know what were your reactions. What are your favorite memes, GIFs? The TikToks have been on point, by the way. The TikToks have been great. Vaughn also has a whole series of TikToks that are out, so y'all go check those out.
At Ivana.com.
But, right, at Ivana.com. Hello, so get it poppin'. She also has the Don't Rush video challenge, okay? All our favorite video victims from the 2000s. If y'all grew up on the music videos like I did, you already know. So y'all need to go check them out.
I have a special cut on my TikTok because you can only put a minute on there, so I just cut.
So go to that TikTok, Ivana.com, write it all the way out, and on that IG, which if you go to Intermission HG IG, you'll see Ivana's link.
Yep, and the whole thing is on there. It's like 19 of us. So.
Yeah.
Your favorite wasn't there is because she ain't replied to the email. So
real talk.
Okay.
people are like, so-and-so's not there, so-and-so's not there. I'm like, yo, the girl who put it together, like, she hit everybody up. And I followed up with people that I knew that didn't reply, and they replied to me, and we, got them in there or whatever. But if your favorite ain't there, go holler at their page, not ours. Because they didn't reply.
Follow up is key. Follow up is okay. Check your emails, check your text.
So what are we talking about this week, ladies?
Well, so this week it's been on our hearts to talk about social distancing. It's been very interesting. I know everyone is going stir crazy. Some people are going stir crazy and tired of being in the house. Mm-hmm. And we were having a conversation the other day about the gift of quarantine, if that could even be a thing. But the gift of quarantine as it relates to being social at this time and like deepening what it means to have social interaction at this time. Mm-hmm. So I'll start. So for me, which we talked about in the first episode, y'all are the extroverts. I'm the introvert with extrovert moments. Okay. So I usually don't like to be going nowhere no way. So like if I come out the house for you, that means that I really, really love you and I really rock with you. So straight up, there's no lie. And so for me, I think that being the introvert that I am, sometimes being in physical spaces and like having to be at parties and chit chat and small talk, all of that drains my soul. And so virtually has been very cool because I've been able to have my extrovert moments with introvert protection because of the screen and still have really cool interactions with people. And I'm not as nervous, I guess I would say, as I can be in physical interactions, which has been like an eye-opening sort of gift to me. I know it won't be like that always as the country opens up. California is going to open up last, by the way. Shout out to Governor Gavin Newsom. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the wise leader, Lord.
Thank you. Mayor Eric Garcetti and the whole team. We're opening up last. So I don't know about you.
We're going to see what happens everywhere else.
Right. Prayers up for Florida and Georgia and all the people we know down there.
Both my states are doing right. Connecticut and California, they both right. Everybody's still locked down. So
that's good.
I was born in New York, so Governor Cuomo ain't playing either. No reindeer games. Okay. Anywho, that was like my big revelation of being like, oh, I'm actually more comfortable in this space. So I hope that once I go back into the real world or the new world, I should say, I can take some of that confidence with me that technology has given me back out into the actual physical world in space. So we'll see. Hold me accountable, y'all. That's what we do around here.
Right.
So anywho.
That's funny because I'm someone who likes to be out around the people,
mm-hmm.
but I have been finding myself, I've been seeing myself in a lot of the introvert memes, whatever they're called.
I know.
The whole thing, that meme, that's it. I see myself a lot in those. And I'm like, am I really? I've always said I was it the ambivert where you're half introvert, half extrovert. But I've been okay with like doing the online stuff and having the Zoom parties and, just having that whole interaction with my people all over the place is just like, oh, okay, this is cool. Like I still am able to be social and not have to like get dressed from the waist up.
Waist down.
Oh, that's real. We knew what you meant.
It's funny though. I'm kind of like on the same tip though. Vaughn and I were really getting into going out more right before quarantine hit, and we had found like a bunch of parties we were gonna go to, a bunch of Afro beat parties. We was like so ready, but I really thought, and if you guys follow me on IG at the beginning of this, I had posted something about, I'm an extrovert. I was trying to get hugs before we came into this thing. And I really thought I would not survive, or that I'd be itching the whole entire time. But I'm actually surprised at how much I'm actually liking this and how I'm thriving. There's people that I'm connecting with, or always following up with, that I may have not if I would have been at work and having to go. So the social interaction of like following up, seeing how you doing, what are you working on, and just having like a more conversation, more than like, hey, what's up? Oh, that's good. Okay, bye. A little deeper. and I'm doing Zoom parties. Hey, got the game night pot then. And the greatest thing about that Zoom parties or game nights is that there's people all over. Like, we wouldn't have been able to connect with these people. They wouldn't have been in the house, like kicking it, having game night. And I feel like game night is a place where people relax. Eventually they relax. After you start competing, you just kind of let the walls down, you know? And so it's just nice to feel like I didn't think that there was a way to do it virtually like this and still feel connected. And so I like that a lot. And I like that when I turn it off, I ain't got to clean up the house, you know, because everybody in their respective places and not mine, you know? And so that's nice too. So that's what I like. The new way of connecting. I haven't felt a disconnect.
Yeah, it's been fun. Like your game nights. I always feel, because I have friends all over the place, and I always feel left out if I'm not at an event that they're at. If my friends in Connecticut are somewhere doing something, and you know, one of my close friends lives in Texas, and she, you know, her and her husband, we had a shot party. I had water, doing a shot party for his birthday. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't feel left out of his birthday, even though they're in Houston. I don't feel left out of things happening in Connecticut because we can get on the Zoom, and like your game nights, we've been meeting your friends from all over, and it's like we've known them our whole lives, and we just met them. You know what I mean? And it's been really fun. And like our other girlfriend in Florida, she doesn't feel left out because she can be at our game night. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's been a new way of us connecting, and for us who do have the FOMO bug all the time, we don't feel left out anymore. Because when you move, it's like, oh, it's great. I have a new place, I'm in new surroundings. But then when your friends have events, it's like,
that's right.
It's like you can't fly home for everything, like you know. So yeah,
I ain't that rich yet.
Right. Yet
I'm gonna be on that Russell and Sierra, like catch a private flight to come see my homies. Or no, it was Gabriel. The Unions did that. I'm sorry, the Wades did that. They flew for a game. I'm like, and just went back on home. Okay,
that's a goal. Like, I can't do it now, but it's a goal just to be able to go home whenever.
Hashtag goal.
It's someone's birthday. I'm going to go this weekend.
Right.
And we were talking about this actually earlier this week, just about like the point that I made at first. I actually noticed it being at Jesse's game nights, and I was saying that, you know, because I trust in the quality of person that she is,
right?
It made me relax in that environment to be like, oh, Jess would never she don't put up with no foolishness, so I would trust that no foolish people will be there, which I feel like should translate in the physical world. But sometimes, God, in the physical world, at parties, slippery people be slipping through. Or sometimes, you know, I think.
What'd
you say?
They bring that homie, you be like, where'd he come from?
Yeah, and they start drinking and they come out, and I'll be like, what?
Who are you? Like,
you.
Like, who are you? And I think it's something to be said. And, you know, I've had this conversation with other people, and you notice it as you're growing and maturing, but people know you in different parts of your life. And you kind of, like, there should be a through line if you're living your life with integrity and consistency. There should be an integral, some sort of through line about you as a person. But because people meet you in different settings, they know you in different ways. And sometimes what people love about you in one setting is completely different than how people know you in another setting. And sometimes all those worlds don't come together well. But it's cool when you get to be at, you know, someone's birthday party and everybody gets along, as opposed to like one group is feeling really out on the skirts while everybody else is getting along. So that's just, I would say, a testament to you as a person, just that, like, me and Von both feel comfortable, you know, being around your friends, and they feel comfortable being around us. You know, we all sort of gel and come together in that way, which is cool. So, because
that's always great when your friends can mesh well.
Yeah.
You know, and that says a lot about you as a person. When your friends can just, you know, my bestie's gone and I still talk to her friends from college.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, or her friends from like her childhood from before I was there. It's like, that's evidence of the people that you choose to be around, you know, in your circle. So that's super dope.
And not to be like morbid, but like and you talked about this just in terms of like before we came into 2020 and before we knew all the craziness that would ensue, but about really trying to take inventory of how you were building relationships and what you were doing, because, you know, especially at a time like this when health and death are kind of like a simultaneous thing, is like, it's kind of, that's all you have of people, is like the memories of the time that you spent with them and how their life impacted people. It's like, it's kind of the cool thing to me, as crazy as it sounds, and we talked about this as well, about going to funerals, because it's a time when you get to see like, oh, did what you were building in terms of the scope of your life, like how did it all pan out? And you get to see it because you get to see all these different walks of life of different people who knew this same person, and that's the memories that they hold on to remember that person. So it's just an interesting and cool observation to me, I think. But Jess, you were saying something. Go ahead.
I don't know. I was just so into it, like, yeah.
We were like,
I'm definitely wanting to, I do want to still build more relationships.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing. Crazy thing is I've actually connected with new people. And I know these people are going to be truly people that are in my life to the end of the year at least, and stuff like that. The quality connections during this time. And it's been popping on Zooms, or maybe someone has a happy hour, or someone invites me to a watch party, a Netflix watch party or something like that, and we're all talking in the comments. Or now I'm like, with the game nights, I'm trying to encourage people, bring a friend, like someone that I trust. I'll be like, is your friends coming? And, you know, like, that's how I met a financial advisor, and I was like, what? And the dude is killing the game, and I was just like, that's really awesome, you know? And so just being able to connect like this, like, I don't think if quarantine didn't happen, I'm not sure I would have been able to connect with people this way. I may have known of them, I may have seen their IG and knew they were an extension of a friend of mine, but I wouldn't have been able to actually meet them and hopefully build relationships with them that they become my friends as well, right?
Yeah.
So, that part I like. And talking about connecting though, one of the things that have actually changed a little bit for me during this time, and I will definitely say it's a gift of quarantine. I thought I was going to come in here and want a bunch of booze and stuff and be on a bunch of apps or something to continue a romantic connection with people. But I'm surprised that I am not in this, it's not the rat race, like financially, but like the social rat race, you know, like you should be dating, you should be da-da-da-da-da. I'm not so concerned about it. Like, I'm more like, all right, if it comes and it's good and quality, I'm so for it. But I'm not gonna sit here and just do some nonsense for just because, like, this is what I should be doing on a Friday night. I should be having dinner with somebody, you know? And so that has been one of the highlights of this, or one of the gifts that the quarantine has brought me, is that I don't feel like I have to be dating someone, or I have to have a roster, or I have to, you know, it's more so I've been taking time to myself. And I'm not shut out. Like, y'all seen the last episode? I am not shut out. Like, slide into them DMs, boy. You know. But like, I just I'm not closed off to it, but I'm really just doing stuff that's just bettering myself, like adding things to who I am, and just looking at some things like doing some heart checks, and like, why don't I like this and that? Why don't I want to give time to a person or something like that? You know, just thinking about those things, not to put me in a negative space, but just to kind of like take inventory of who I am and stuff.
Yeah, that's good. And I feel like I'm the opposite. I'm like, okay, Lord, we've been on this and I would love to be quarantined with my husband.
Hey, coming out with a baby. Sorry. TMI, sorry.
That's all y'all that are really about to come out of quarantine with a baby, or babies.
Procreate, okay?
How the Lord's gonna move.
Oh, Lord. But yeah, so I would love to be quarantined with the boo. I'm not like stressed about it, but I know that is where I would want to be. You know what I mean? I'm not like, oh my gosh, I gotta go on a date. But I am enjoying getting to know someone in this time. And like I said before, I think the quarantine has been like a nice barrier for us. But I'm like, okay, God.
Yeah. Where
you at? Where you at? But I think we were talking about this, Vaughn, because I was like, man, even though like you and I will be praying about something and it's similar things that we're praying for, but we're on different ends where I'm not necessarily, it's not a concern. It's not that it's not a concern of mine, but it's just different ends where you're ready for that relationship. And then I'm like, maybe I'm not, maybe I need to work on myself. But I realize you've done the work on yourself and you've done the things that need to be pulled up and you've done the assessments, all the stuff that I'm trying to do right now. You've already done it. Like you are one of those selfless people. You are one that will put your husband, first when those circumstances come up. It's not of like, oh, do I put my family first? Well, I want to do this. You don't have that. You know what the answer is on those things. Well, I still have that tug of war going on, you know? And so I'm working on those things, but it's like, I think that's why we're in different places, as because you've done the work. And I'm like, yes, I'm praying for your, okay, the relationship to pop up, you know what I mean? Get to popping too. Lord, let it get popping, you know.
Popping. Popping. Yeah. Which I'm not mad at that either. Yeah, I think. Go ahead.
Also, people that are watching, I know that this is something that we wanted to do this because we wanted people to come into our conversations because we have homegirls and stuff. But this is like the thing that I'm talking about is like, what's the next step for me? You know, like, how do I don't like, so many people don't have someone outside to reach on to, and in social media is telling them what's next, right? Or the norms are telling them what's next. But I literally have my sister in Christ who's hella bomb, hella fine as F, you know, and hella cool, generous and everything. Your life, who you are, I admire. So when I get to this point, I have someone that I can say, hey, I don't know what's next. How do I do that? You know what I mean? And I can like really open up my heart, like open up my chest and show you my heart. And I know you ain't going to hit it. I know you're not going to punch it. I know you're not going to tell my business. I know, you know, I'm in a safe place with you. And so that's the things like, I'm like, I love with both of y'all, like just going to keep it real with me. She's my therapist. Okay. She's my life coach. Okay. And that's what y'all do. And it's such a safe place. And like, I know other people outside of here that's listening to this may not have that, but that's why we have created this, because we want you guys to be able to talk to us and hear some of the conversations that are going on.
Yeah. And definitely to have you all connect with each other. You know what I mean? Like it took us a while to find each other. You know what I mean? It's not an instant thing. I think to, you know, the points that you've made, Jess, in terms of like, you hit on, you know, with the guy that you met, that was a financial planner that you wouldn't have known any other way. It's like, that's quality networking to me. Like, I hate networking. Like, I hate the idea of it, but like, that's not slimy, because it's usually slimy. It's like, you got to come in and like, everybody knows you want something from somebody else. So like, who can I get up on?
Right.
As opposed to you guys just met in a very normal situation, circumstance. Like the progression of it was very natural, as opposed to like TVJ hands, you know what I mean? Like all of that. Like, it's like, ugh. But it's giving you an opportunity to have a natural networking, just cool thing happen that's beneficial for you and beneficial for him. Mm-hmm. At the same time, you know, to what you both are saying, is like, there is a societal pressure, I think, on dating and going out with people and who's on your roster and this, that, and the third. But I think it was a lot of that rat race was to fill a lot of holes that people weren't dealing with. And now it's like, you gotta deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't go to work. You already knew this relationship was trash, but now it's really proven to be trash. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot that you can't run from now. And so it's either going to send you into a spiral of, you know, negativity and negative emotions, or the gift of it is like, wow, let me really assess and take inventory of who I am, what this means for me, and what type of person that I want to be as a result of this. And like, just to commend you, Jess, even in this moment, to say like, yo, I really have had to have the courage to look at myself and say, man, let me really be real with myself about the fact that like, I might not want to do this much work with this particular person in a relationship right now. Doesn't mean you don't ever want to do it, but just like right now, no. And that's totally okay. And knowing that, you know, there'll come a day when you want to do that, but like, girl, live your life. You know what I mean? Like there's no pressure for that. But you know, society in the world before, it was like, yo, eggs this, and you got to keep it tight and stay popping. Like it's all of that social sort of mind effery, as I call it. That's, you know, part of the matrix of the old world, I would say. But we're getting away from all that and starting afresh and starting anew. So I'm super proud of both of you guys. You know what I mean? But the introvert is proud of the extroverts. Yeah.
I'm being introverted right now. Introspective.
I also thought, like, if I was married right now and this once I get married, once this pandemic, you know, is over or whatever, if the relapse happens like they say is going to, the person I choose, I want to be stuck in the house with them.
Listen, I said that this week too. That's me and people's wedding vows. I will want to be stuck in the quarantine with you, because that's
what I want to be stuck in a quarantine with you.
Right.
Because the reality of the situation is, if they don't come up with a vaccine no time soon, who knows what happens. But like, this could be a regular part of our lifestyles for our life. Like, it depends on what happens. I hate to be that person, but to be like, at any point in time, they could be like, nope, it's a spike. We gotta lock down.
We gotta go.
Oh, yeah.
So you don't want to, go ahead, Vaughn.
Yeah, no, but I was just like, yo, that's part of my new criteria. Like,
here we go.
I want to be stuck with you in the house.
Is he mentally stable?
Hello?
Of his parents? Can I be stuck in a quarantine with him?
Listen,
nice.
It's about that safety life. Is he cheap? Is he gonna do what needs to be done to fortify the house? It's a whole lot of things. Listen, and I know we like to call that old fashioned sometime, or like, you know, that's for, you know, our parents and grandparents, like we in a whole new generation.
My criteria is probably the same as my grandmother's was.
Okay.
What do we say?
The core values are the core values.
Listen, what do we say at our house? We got it from Adrian Melvin. Shout out to Adrian Melvin. Get you a man that know how to be outside, because who know how to be outside? Because it's important. Okay? It's very important.
That's important. Because, yeah, you can't. Because I used to be like, okay, well, if he can't be outside, he can hire somebody. Right now, can you hire somebody? I felt bad, y'all. I went to Home Depot the other day to get some more soil for my compost. And
you little hippie. I love it.
And you know, the guys who stand outside of Home Depot, they work for people, for people. I'm like, dang, I wonder how that's affecting them, because that's probably their livelihood. They can't apply for unemployment. You know, and I was like, dang, you can't just hire nobody. So yeah, I need a man that can work outside. What can you do? Can you build something?
Listen, a man that's resourceful. Let's say your primary hustle is gone. Listen, 7 streams of income is the goal. That's not just for men, that's for women too. You should have at least 7 streams, at least.
Lord.
So you don't never have to be worried about where that money comes from.
You got to go deep into that entrepreneurial bag for the 7.
Hello? So your one little job is cute, but
that's
as we can see, that could be pulled out from under you at any point in time, and you'd be like, "Well, I can't go into the office, but we got 6 more things that we do." So,
yeah,
guys and girls,
that's real.
Focus on it, which is deep. Let's see. What's my other? Oh, my other one is that I've learned in terms of being social and like what that means for me. So I live with my folks, and that's always, listen, I know some people are like, oh, I'm living by myself and it's a struggle. Living with other people is a struggle too, okay? It truly is. All of us on here live with other people, and some days it's not a thing. You like, you know what?
Tougher than others.
I hate everyone, and I'm done. And I've always been a person who's been about introvert, right? Protecting my energy, things that drain me. Like, I just don't deal with it. But now I can't just like leave the house to protect my energy. I gotta like figure out some other things. So for me, it's about like establishing boundaries for myself and like things that I need to make sure that my energy is protected, right? So whether that's like spending more time in my room because that's my own space that I have that like is my space and I don't have to worry about how it's affecting other people. In terms of just like emotionally what I'm gonna put up with and what I'm not gonna put up with. You know what I mean? I have friends who, at this point in time who have had either mental or medical issues and like that stuff is flaring up because they've had to be inside. And so there's a certain level of like responsibility that I feel for those people, but I'm also like, you have to manage your own stuff. You know what I mean? Like you can't just dump your stuff on me because of this time and then I got to deal with it. It's like, no, bro, like take your own stuff or sis, this your stuff, this my stuff. And you figure it out and then come back to me. I'm willing to help you, but you can't just verbal or emotionally or, you can't just vomit your stuff on me. And I think I've learned to get better about socially putting up boundaries in a way to be like, I can't do that today, or like, I don't want to deal with it. And not feeling guilty about doing that because, this experience has, I guess, cranked up the survival mechanism that I think all of us instinctually have to be like, I have to survive this. And if me listening to you, though I care about you, and whatever you're going through, but like listening to you for 2 hours or 3 hours, like drains me. And for me to be able to have the permission to say, can we come back to that? Or like, can we do this on another day? Like, let me just move on. So that's been it's like doubling down for me. I think it's not a new thing, but it's like, you have permission to do that for yourself. And that's your right. And don't let anybody sort of try to like trick you out of that or like make you feel guilty about that. So.
And that's good because I'm someone who I will let someone dump and I just listen. And I've gotten better with protecting my space, but I feel bad when I don't listen. I'm like, okay, okay, this is the gift that God's given me to be able to like listen and process I'm not good at like, it's funny when something bad happens to someone, I'm bad at like knowing what to say, but I can listen. Like I'm a good listener. I will listen to whatever you have to say for hours. But there are some days where I don't feel like listening, but I don't know how to tell someone I don't feel like listening. But I'm like, y'all can't take social cues. Like I can take a social cue when someone doesn't feel like talking, or I'm like, oh, they're not in the mood today. Let me back up. But there are many people who cannot take social cues. And because I'm always the open person, they will just dump. And this time I've been able to separate from those people. I don't have to answer my FaceTime. I don't have to answer my phone. I don't have to answer the text. I don't have to respond to the DM, like, or whatever. You know what I mean? Because I'm not going to see them, out and about. I'm not going to see them at church. And they're not going to be able to corner me after service. And you know what I'm saying? It's just, it's put a barrier up for me to be able to just have time and space to process my own life. Because I feel like too, in this quarantine, I saw someone put up a quote. I think Tia Mowry put it up, one of them, and it said, if your friends aren't checking on you, something. If your friends aren't checking on you, something. You know who your real friends are, but it's like, yo, we're all in this. No, it's not like you're in a bad situation and I'm going about my day and I'm not checking on you. We're all in this together. So we're checking on each other. But if I don't check on you, it's not because I don't love you. It's because I'm going to be having a bad day today.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you can't put your friendship on, oh, so-and-so ain't checked on me. We're all in the house. We're all figuring it out. And I also feel like some people are exaggerating on their boredness or on their stuff they need to do. I don't feel like everybody is so stir crazy. If I'm not stir crazy, like I'm somebody, I want to be up the house, but I'm not stir crazy right now. I'm okay. I want to hug, but besides that, like I'm good. Like, and I feel like some people's stuff they're just being extra with the, oh my God, it's going to post They just want somebody to comment on the comment. They just want to have some type of attention about the whole thing. But I don't really think some people, yes, but some of y'all, I'm like, y'all just want to complain.
Yeah,
you want to be a CC, chronic complainer. That's it.
CC.
I feel like, yo, if you ain't under 26, you probably ain't gonna start crazy. Like the younger ones, I get why they going crazy.
Oh,
like, I get it. But like when you're older, like you're over 30, like shut up. You ain't going crazy. Shut up.
What are you trying to be out here doing exactly? You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, it's like you lived enough life, you've seen enough things. You know, there's nothing really new out here.
Yeah, it's like whatever.
You all right.
You'll be all right. You'll be all right.
And I did see that Tia Mowry, and I saw one that had a rebuttal to it.
That's what I saw.
Yeah, and I was like, that's real. The rebuttal, I can't remember exactly what she said, but she was just like, basically, we're all out here, and if someone doesn't follow up with you, it has nothing to do with whether or not they value you as a friend, but they are working out their own stuff. You know, like, yeah, like I don't want to talk, and I love that.
You got a 2-year-old. What?
And at a certain point, we ain't got nothing to talk about. What we gonna talk about? I stood inside today. That's it. You know, it's like not much to talk about. You know,
exactly. And yeah, I think that which was permission we've always had, but I think that because this is so drastic, you know, people feel comfortable saying and doing probably some stuff you've always wanted to say and do with some people. You know what I'm saying? To just be like, to your point, Vaughn, it's like, what about me? You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm always pouring out for you, I have nothing left for me. And I'm just as stressed out or afraid or upset or emotionally hurt, or I'm processing through my own stuff. And if I'm always pouring out for you, I have nothing for me. And then I'm not good for you or me or anybody else. So I think that it's powerful. Like, it's an important, powerful thing to be able to step into that place to be like, no, I'm setting this boundary and I'm not going to apologize for it. And, you know, you're not going to emotionally manipulate me into like, but in a way that I feel like before we just let people kind of slide with, instead of just being like, no, you're grown and you can figure it out and you'll be all right. You'll survive.
Mm-hmm. I remember having one of those conversations. It sucked because like, honestly, like a homegirl had like a big thing that happened and she was far away and needed someone to come pick her up. But quarantine was started. And I was like, dang, like I wanted to go get her, but then I was just like, wait a second. And so instead of just going and getting her, like I would be so down, like go hop in the car, go. And I was like, but how am I supposed to get home? I got to drive your car. Wait. And then because I had to take the pause for that, then that pause led me to think like, wait, we're in quarantine. Wait. Like you just went to something out and about. This is not safe. And then it made me think like, is she okay? Let me talk through this, you know, instead of just fly in on this. I was like, let me talk it through with her and lend help from here and help her work through this on her own. Mm-hmm. And then she did. And I was just like, yeah, instead of me like, I'm going to come and I'm going to rescue you. No.
I was like, no, I'm going.
Give her the tools to be able to do it herself, you know?
I was like,
I know. You're like, you're not going there. I was like, thanks.
Thank you. And to have people that can say like, no, we're not doing, and back you up in that, because, you know, some people, like, I don't want to necessarily call it a savior complex, but we have like knee-jerk reactions of things we have to do because, you know, we want to be viewed in a particular light, or we genuinely want to help people. Like some of us, like some people really have bleeding hearts and they want to help people and they care for people, but you can't do that to your own detriment. Like, well, then you're jacked up. Like that's not healthy, and that's not love for you as much as you're trying to love
or her, because I could have been like, had it, you know?
You could have got the virus.
I could have had it and messed her up, you know? And that's the thing I keep on saying, because I know a couple people that be like, no, I don't think nothing's happening. I'm like, oh, okay. Strong believers in everything. And I'm like, that's cool, but look at here. I think I'm fine too, guys. But I would feel horrible if I wasn't, and I pass it on to you. So let's go ahead and do this. Holla at me on Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Holla at me on Zoom. Let's do this FaceTime. Let's connect this way. We can do tea time through Zoom or something, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that.
Exactly.
And that's love. That's self-love and care, but also loving other people. And sometimes you just gotta love. The best way to love people. Jermaine Cole is one of my favorite rappers. Shout out to him. I don't know if he'll ever see this, but I love him. And he has one of my favorite lines he's ever said is, "Don't save her. She don't want to be saved." Okay. It's like some people you can either they don't want to be saved, or even if they want to be saved, the best lesson you could ever teach them is to let them fall. Like that is going to teach them something more than you coming to coddle them or rescue them from a particular set of situations or circumstances, especially if it's a cycle that someone's been in and they're like just not getting the message. I was like, it might be you. And sometimes, when we love people, we want to prevent them from bumping their heads or like stumbling, or like you see the train coming, but they're just like, no, it's not. I'm just going to play on the tracks. And you like, okay. But sometimes that's what that person needs to go through in order to learn that lesson. Mm-hmm. Vaughn, you're a mom. You know all about that.
You're like,
no. I gotta let you fall.
It's hard, but you have to do it.
Sometimes you just gotta do it. Don't save them, and they'll be better for that because they're on their own journey and their own process in life, and you don't want to impede someone else's progress and process because you so concerned about them getting hurt. I'm like, let them learn that lesson. Let them burn themselves. Let them do what they got to do. Yeah. And then maybe they won't call you as much. You know what I mean? Maybe they'll be like, oh, I'm an autonomous person, an adult. I can figure these things out.
Yeah.
Which is cool. And then you get you back and you can survive the quarantine, okay? Which is what we're all trying to do.
I'm so excited.
I know. Well, ladies, anything else? I feel unburdened. I'm glad I was able to process through that with you all. Anything else?
I wonder what other people are doing to stay. What are they grateful for, or has the quarantine been a gift to them?
So yeah, we would love to hear from you guys. Let us know in the comments, and that's it. We are signing off. Love y'all.
Bye.
We'd love to hear from our homies, so feel free to email us at intermissionhg, as in homegirls, that's intermissionhg@gmail.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram at intermissionhg. Until next time, this has been A Break with Your Homegirls.